El Dorado, the City of Gold. For centuries, this name has echoed through history, whispered by explorers, conquistadors, and dreamers. They imagined a place where streets were literally paved with gold, where rivers shimmered with unimaginable treasures, and where kings covered themselves in precious metals just to greet the sun. It was the ultimate prize, a symbol of endless wealth and power. But the story you've been told is a lie. The real story of El Dorado isn't about riches. It's a chilling tale of madness, obsession, and death. The legend wasn't born from greed, but from something far more sacred. It began with the Muisca people, high in the mountains of modern-day Colombia. For them, gold wasn't currency. It was a divine offering, a connection to their gods. Their most important ritual involved anointing a new chief. He would be covered head to toe in shimmering gold dust, and then, at dawn, dive into the sacred lake Guatavita. Gold ornaments and jewels would be thrown into the water as offerings. It was a beautiful, spiritual ceremony, a moment of communion between a leader and the divine. But when the Spanish conquistadors arrived, their insatiable hunger for wealth twisted this sacred ritual into something monstrous. They didn't see spirituality. They saw a city overflowing with gold, just waiting to be plundered. The story of El Dorado, the Gilded One, morphed into the myth of an entire empire of gold, and with that myth, one of the darkest and most brutal chapters of history began. From the 16th century onward, a feverish madness swept through Europe. Countless expeditions, funded by kings and fueled by blind ambition, marched into the uncharted, unforgiving jungles of South America. Each man believed he would be the one to find El Dorado and return a legend, rich beyond imagination. But the jungle had other plans. Instead of glory, most found only starvation, disease, and a slow, agonizing descent into despair. Take Gonzalo Pizarro, the ruthless half-brother of the man who conquered the Inca Empire. In 1541, he led one of the largest and most expensive searches for El Dorado. With an army of hundreds of Spaniards and thousands of indigenous porters, he plunged into the Amazon. What followed was a nightmare. They faced relentless rain, flash floods, and attacks from tribes defending their lands. Food ran out. Men resorted to eating their own horses, their dogs, and even the leather from their saddles. Hundreds died, their bodies left to rot in the mud. The survivors who staggered back were little more than skeletons, their dreams of gold replaced by haunting memories of the hell they had endured. They returned with nothing. Decades later, the obsession hadn't faded. The famous English adventurer, Sir Walter Raleigh, became convinced El Dorado was hidden in what is now Guyana. He staked his reputation, his fortune, and his life on finding it. His first expedition failed. Undeterred, he launched a second, desperate attempt years later. This final quest ended in absolute disaster. His crew mutinied, his own son was killed in a skirmish with the Spanish, and Raleigh returned to England a broken man. The golden city he promised to his queen was a phantom. His reward for this failure? The executioner's axe. The curse of El Dorado had claimed another victim. And here is the darkest truth of it all. El Dorado, the city of gold, never existed. It was never a place. It was a person, a ritual, a sacred ceremony completely misunderstood by outsiders blinded by their own greed. Yet, for this phantom, for this lie, entire empires were mobilized. Lives were shattered. Indigenous cultures were decimated, their villages burned, their people slaughtered, all in the name of a dream that was nothing more than dust in the wind. The search for gold turned the Americas into a landscape of violence and sorrow. Today, the legend of El Dorado lives on, not as a map to treasure, but as a chilling warning. It's a story about how obsession can drive humanity to its most destructive extremes. It teaches us that the promise of ultimate glory often leads to nothing but death and devastation. The gold was never the treasure. The real story is the price that was paid for it. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the dark heart of a legend. If you found this story fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the forgotten corners of history. Let me know in the comments what other historical mysteries you'd like to explore next. See you in the next video.